What's going on, everybody? Back with Ballers on a Budget. I'm joined today with Sportz Beast as usual. Give it up for Corey.
What up?
All right. Today, what we got planned for you, we're going to ease it in nice and smooth, just like my girl likes it. And then I'm going to be making power moves. Another move the women like. And then the next one, the one they don't like, is we're ranking top 5 dudes. Okay? They may like it, but not in front of you with their man. But my personal favorite after that is we're going into rapid fire recaps, and then we're gonna go rapid fire pick'ems. So we're gonna step through time, get a little bit of the past, get a little bit of the future. Okay, that's what we got planned for you. So, what was that topic you wanted to bring up to me that you said you were so excited about?
So yeah, I have the ease it in topic. I didn't tell Cody anything about it. It's nothing too crazy, but I thought it was something worth talking about. So let me screen share. So I'm sure you've seen the new uniforms that are going to be worn throughout this season, or maybe you haven't. I don't know.
Some of them, not all of them. I know Bengals, theirs are real drippy.
So I've got a couple pictures of a few of them that I thought was really cool. And then if you have some that you like, not pictures, but any
yeah.
any others that you want to talk about. I've only got a few of them. So let me just share this real quick. Oh, it's already right here.
There it is. He's the man of the brand.
So these are cool.
Those are kind of nice. I do like the black helmets. I'm tired of white helmets.
Yes, blacked out Jets. The dark green
I like this.
popped behind that black.
This is approved. I approve it. Stamp it, send it out.
Teams doing some crazy stuff this year. Why not throw in some good gear?
They're not doing anything too crazy. I know
just upsets and whatnot.
MILF Hunter did get approved by the doctors to come back. He got medically approved. So we'll see what they really do with Flacco. But I think Flacco's now depressed that if he's not starting, he's not going to get to wear these uniforms anymore. He gets to hold it, but he ain't going to be able to wear them unless it's for practice.
He'll put it on running out through the tunnel, and that's about it.
Woo, let's go, let's go. Okay. Keep you nice and clean.
Yeah.
Tucks that helmet under his shoulder.
Hanging up on the fridge when he gets home.
Treats that like the football. You don't let go of it if your life depended on it.
So I thought that was a cool one to start off with.
Start off.
The first one I saw. Yeah, I have more.
Ooh, okay. Easing it in. We're not easing this in at all. Starting off hot.
I don't know if they wore these already.
Oh, those are ugly.
See, I like them. I think it's the black helmet.
Nah, I like the black helmet, but everything, the shirt just looks like a woman going to a baseball game. Trying to show off some cleavage, trying to show off the arms.
Yeah, I don't think you're seeing, like, you're going to have 8 inches of pads underneath. Like,
I don't like it.
It ain't a deep V.
Send it back. I found a defect.
I thought these were cool for the Giants. I think the black helmet is gonna
not approved.
Be like super contrasty against these kind of typical, not typical. They kind of look like Bills uniforms.
They should have worked the red in there with the black helmet. I think that would have made it nicer. And then they should have worked black into the rest of the uniforms. I'm not a big fan of the red, white, and blue uniforms. Like, if I want to see that, I'll watch a Patriots game.
Okay. No, I think they're pretty sweet. The cleats are down there pretty cool. Which I don't know why they're showing
pretty
cleats.
Nice.
I don't know why they show cleats because everybody wears their own cleats anyway.
If you're anybody, you wear custom.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
The way the socks are laid out are a little weird.
Like Justin Jefferson had those one cleats, probably my favorite of all time, SpongeBob.
The SpongeBob ones, yeah.
I'm gonna just head out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love those.
All right, Cody hates these ones. Moving on, I guess.
Not approved. See, though, this is nice. They work their secondary color, not their, well, I don't know how you would label their color scheme, but there's 3 colors you can normally choose from. Theirs, they would be black, this very like cyan blue almost, and then it's always white. 90% of teams use white as the neutral color. And a lot of teams go hard for the white, but I like this color, the black with that bold blue behind it. Like Falcons, the black and red. I love those too. I like teams like this.
So I'm glad you started naming colors, actually. The only color you didn't name, which I'm sure you've seen, was that silver, like sparkly helmet for the Panthers. Have you seen it?
No.
What? Oh my. Everybody loves that silver. It's like glittery, glistening, like weird helmet. Dude, I can't stand the silver. It's like yeah, it is. It's silver. But I think the new black, like you said, with that just that blue kind of finish to them, makes the logo pop. It's going to make their uniforms pop a little more. I like these.
I like them too, and I'm surprised it took them that long to black out these helmets finally.
Yeah, I
I've
know.
been
I
getting
kind
the
of thought
white
that
helmets
was,
for so long.
yeah, I thought that was just like going to be a given for these guys, but guess not.
No, I like them. They finally got into the color rush a couple years ago, putting bold colors on their uniforms. Why the hell not? Why do you have to stay old? And why do you look like you have to be playing in the 1980s? Never understood that.
And you did mention this next one at the beginning.
Yeah, white out. See, I like this. You got to go bold either side of the spectrum. You fall in the middle, you become one of us, a normie. You
Nobody
don't
wants to
want
be a
that.
normie. Yo, these are sick.
Yeah, these are nice. See, and I like how Bengals aren't even throwing their traditional logo on the helmet. There's something that
Yes,
embraces their logo, but doesn't just throw it out there. Like Cleveland Browns, how'd you do that? Would you put a helmet on a helmet?
do it.
You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So
Yeah,
teams need to just start getting better. Like Brown, they're shitting on Brown, the Brownie, the elf. I don't give a damn. I'm just glad we got something as a logo other than the thing they wear on their damn head.
yeah. So yeah, normally I don't like the white pants, and I'm gonna have to look at the linemen because every time I see a lineman in the white pants, it looks like they're wearing a diaper. Normally, I do not like white pants at all.
Yeah, I can see that still. But I
But
mean,
yeah,
now
these
you
ones
just
aren't
got
as
me
bad.
looking at a dude's ass. Thanks for that.
Hey, I'm gonna be scoping it out during this game when they wear them.
Be honest, if you were in the Zoom, I'd still be doing it. But if you weren't in here, uh,
So yeah, these are cool. These are awesome.
nice. You got any more for me? I'm fiending now.
I know I should have grabbed a bunch more, but a lot of them were like Atlanta and Cardinals. They were the
They
same
can do
helmet.
such good help. Like, imagine 20 years in the future. This is what the episode's going to be called, too. Uniforms of the future. Like, imagine the Browns embrace the elf role. Elfie. Brownie the elf. I always want to call him Elfie, stupidly. But
Elfie.
we embrace the elf role. We get a helmet that's the same. It's the same helmet, but the art style on it looks like we're wearing a little scrunched over pointed hat. And we got elf ears sticking out of the ear holes. Not sticking out, but where the ear holes would be. Dude, these are the future. The Cardinals need to get a helmet that's painted to where it's the shape of a bird beak or something. The artist can do it nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, I
See,
mean, it's uniforms of the future. They could be so much better. Like Oregon doesn't even care about playing football anymore. They're all about the uniforms. It's how they look on cam. I love it.
so if I was the Browns like designer or marketer, like why not embrace the dog? You have a literal section of your
I
stadium
agree.
called the dog pound.
That's a no-brainer. But what they did is they put it up to the fans, and the fans, we at one point of time recognized Elfie as a fan logo for multiple years. The dog was never a logo. It was just um a marketing scheme at the game. You got the dog pound. You can buy the dog bones. You can buy the dog chain. You can buy
You
the
have a
dog
dog
mask.
mascot.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to me, but like the fans, a ton of older generation fans, when Elfie was hip and cool, they voted for it. It was fan voted for.
I like the elf. I don't mind it, I should say.
Like, I'm just glad we got something, dude. I would have taken a number two pick.
Rename the dog pound then. Santa's workshop.
Santa's workshop. What? What does that have anything to do with a dog?
No, I said if you're keeping the elf, rename the dog pound.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I like that, dude. The Keebler Clubhouse. You probably can't use Keebler. You probably have to rename the whole stadium. There you go. There's a new sponsor for you. We're doing all the work for you.
And I only want about $17.
Clubhouse. And then you can literally name sections just branches.
Oh, there you go.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Perfect. Coming soon. 2020
Our
never.
new touchdown celebration, bow and arrow. We got Deshaun Watson, who did that in Clemson anyways. That was his move in Clemson. I remember him scoring on Ohio State in the playoffs, beating the shit out of us, and every time he scored, take out his little bow and arrow and shoot it. It's perfect time to embrace Elfie and let Deshaun have his true calling, being a woodland character.
But yeah, the rest of the logos, they're not logos, sorry. The rest of the helmets and stuff, they didn't look as good as I'd hoped they would. The Bills do have a pretty nice red helmet though, with a blue stripe going down the middle. That is pretty sweet.
Some of these teams are getting hip with the new generation. Bengals are like probably one of the frontmost right now with that white. With that white out and that helmet design, they're at the front and foremost of the upcoming
trend
fashion in NFL apparel.
Oh, and I saw one that I'm sure you can't stand was and they unveiled it. Is that the right word? I don't know. During the off season was the all orange Chicago Bears helmet.
Oh, dude, it looked cool, but it looked like they were trying to just spice up a Browns team.
See, I think theirs works because they have a logo to separate it a little more.
An orange bear, too. They have that classic retro bear they can fall back on.
Yeah.
I like the darker brown if we're going to go for it because it embraces the dog. So go with the dark brown. We have jerseys that are neon orange, but our helmets, I believe, are still white.
See, yeah, go with the brown. Why not?
I'm not 100% positive, but
the brown would look cool on there.
Right? Yeah.
Like a brown helmet. The helmet I didn't like was it last year's helmet? With like the permanent marker numbers on the side.
Oh, yeah, that was bad, dude. They're trying
like a throwback.
Dumb little things like that isn't gonna catch on no matter what you do.
Yeah, it just looked like a toddler came over.
People have been doing different font styles forever.
Yeah.
But the worst uniforms on record that I can think of offhand probably be the throwback Rams.
Oh, it's not what I thought you were gonna say.
The yellow and like navy blue. It's just you look like you're playing in the 1960s. And then the second close tie for first would be the Bumblebee one.
I knew that's what I thought was going to be first.
The Steelers have the good colors already. They have like 5 different colors. They got blue, red, yellow, black, white. They can embrace all those, but they choose to do black and yellow, which I get is their theme, but you don't want to look like a big ass Bumblebee out there.
Yo, my favorite jerseys are those Bumblebee jerseys.
No.
Yes.
No.
Bumblebee
like
jersey.
They went to prison and somebody's like, yo, bro, I'm tired of this white. Can we get something else? Us sisters needed something else. We need some color up in here.
So give me the Bumblebee jersey with an all yellow helmet, like an old school yellow helmet. See, I like that look.
I don't like the stripes are terrible.
Oh, I love them.
And then instead of going vertical like the referees, you go horizontal.
Well, you can't go vertical because then somebody would be like, "Oh, he's probably working with the refs."
They are.
Something
We know
stupid.
embrace that too.
Yeah, Belichick did.
Yes, shit. A bunch of teams did. Speaking of which, did you see that the Bengals, Miami had to practice in the Bengals facility because they left early due to the hurricane, and
Yeah.
a student watching the game at practice recorded the Dolphins practice, and it was trending like crazy today before the
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Before we hopped on, those pop up came up and it was about
I
that.
didn't do any investigating. I seen the footage, but I didn't even pay much attention, clearly. But the first comment I seen was that Mike, what's his name? Mike Daniels, Coach McDaniels.
Yeah.
McDaniels was one step ahead and had a 12th man on the field at all times to kind of
Nice.
throw off any like game planning, because the inside people would then know, okay, this guy's irrelevant. Let's act like he's not even out there, but he's still out there acting like he's throwing up blocks and shit. You know what I mean? Like acting like he's
Yeah.
running a route, or whoever they have out there. Like I said, I did not look that much into it. If there was an extra wide receiver core guy in there, if there was an extra offensive line guy, if there was another quarterback out there, like that would be crazy to throw him off. Like that student's like, oh, McDaniels may be onto something. He's putting two quarterbacks out there.
So I have an idea, a problem solver is what you can call me. Every team has a practice stadium, like a training camp stadium,
Yeah.
and the football field, right? Or most of them do. I don't know if every team does, but I'm sure almost every one of them does.
They have an indoor practice facility.
Couldn't the Bengals just practice there? Or sorry, the Dolphins?
I don't know. Maybe it was taken by the actual Bengals. They can't practice in stadium on that field. They
I'm
got to get
sure a hurricane would make a good exception to the rule.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like you ain't gonna let the away team practice on your
Why
field.
not just stay in your own stadium and play with the hurricane force
Hurricane
winds? It'll
done.
prepare you like crazy. There's no better defense than a hurricane.
There's no better kicks in a hurricane.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's like playing that Madden, what was it, 2004, 2002?
Yeah.
When you had to kick in, literally, you had to kick in hurricane force winds, and the objective was to nail a 99-yard field goal.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, that's hilarious.
only we ran the league.
Yeah.
We'd be playing that game in the hurricane.
But yeah, that's all I had for the Ease It In. I thought it was pretty cool.
I did have one. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. You can get a little freaky and honest with me if you want, but
Oh God.
yeah. My honorable mention, orgasmic. Do you have any? If you understand what I'm talking about.
That was a weird sentence, but yeah.
I know, I
Sure.
know. Do you have any orgasmic, non-sexual habits? Like you're not literally
I
coming.
know.
Okay. But it's things you would literally all the time be like, oh man, this is better than sex. Like,
Yeah.
like
Not habits. There's times where like when we record and if I nail it first try, like I texted you the other day, I was like, yo,
okay.
you got to check out this part of the video. I nailed it.
I was smooth.
And then I realized my mic didn't work. But those are the type of moments.
Mine's kind of like scratching that itch that has just been itching for so fucking long. And for me, dude, I have a weird thing of cracking my toes
That is weird.
after work. I'll take off I'll first off, I'll resist the temptation. I think that's what builds it up. I'll resist the temptation to itch my feet. You know, you'll do that itch where you just wiggle your toes around enough and rub them raw against each other. Your toes are starting to friction fire up in your boot. That's what I'm talking about. I'll resist it so much until my feet are on fire, and then I'll whip off my boots, get that cooling sensation, And then I'll take my sock off. And, in cartoons, if for some weird reason you're watching a cartoon of somebody getting out of the shower and they're drying off their butt and they do that thing where it's just back and forth.
Yeah.
It's a good dry, very aggressive. But I will do that, but with my sock
With your socks.
in
Oh,
between. Like I'm polishing. Like I would, if I was in New York, I would hand someone a 20 if they were shining my shoe, and I'd be like, "Yo, brother, let me take off my socks and shoes," and you just spit in between every one of my toes.
dude,
That would get me off in the middle of the street.
that is so
But
gross.
what's weird is like it's because my feet are itchy, they're sweaty from work all day and everything, and that instant relief of not having a boot pent up, I'll start grabbing my toes very aggressively. Even like Rachel will be like, "What are you doing?" Start grabbing those little piggies and wrenching on them. And I'll just like crack, 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 dude. It'll crack. It cracks 10 times more times than I have toes.
That is disgusting.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure to the outside, I just look like a fiendish hobo.
You got to go to the corner in your basement to do that, so
Just
nobody can look at you.
But at the same time, I'm fucking itching and digging at my toes and fucking scratching them. When I'm done, there's just dead skin laying all around the crime scene.
Toenails everywhere.
Well, I don't pick my toenails. That's fucking gross, dude. I'll clip those like a normal human. Like, you mongrels that chew on yours too. Don't think I forgot y'all. Yeah. I'm talking fingernails too, bro. You guys be itching your cracks and sticking in between a tooth. I can't stand it, dude. I clip mine with my fingernails, but dude, when it comes to itching my toes, you best believe I'm getting stanky. And then I'll just go fucking wash up my hands real fast. And then afterwards, my feet will just be on fire for a little bit. The price you pay, man.
Like you got out of a hot tub.
It's like when you're digging your girl down, you just get a little too hot and heavy. You just lay there afterwards. You're like, whew, just need to cool down, just run a little hot. But yeah, that's my dirty pleasure, I guess.
Weirdest segment ever.
Toe cracking. Toe cracking with the boys,
That's disgusting. Maybe it's because I'm not like a feet person.
Oh, I'm not a feet person. I don't even like touching my feet. So I think I like my girls to suck my toes or something. I don't like that. I don't touch other people's feet. I normally don't even like to touch my own feet because I think my own feet are gross. Feet in general are gross. But I can't resist that temptation, dude. My feet are my toes get the wiggle in. I'm just like, I'm coming for them piggies.
So when you're hopping out of the shower, and this is weird, you just said feet, and I
don't have that feeling when I hop out of the shower. It's just right after work, man. My feet are sweaty. I'm sitting down. My legs and feet are relaxed.
No, I understand where you're coming from, but what I'm saying is like you were talking about not liking feet and stuff, and I saw this earlier today. The order that you get dressed in when you hop out of the shower.
Oh, I do ass before feet.
What?
Sounds like a weird thing to say. But like when you're drying off,
no. What order do you get dressed in? Every non-psychopath should dry top to bottom.
Some people dry off their feet first so that when they're stepping outside, they're not. I stand in the shower, dry off, and then when my knees and stuff are done, I'll slowly step out as I dry off.
Okay, so you're not a psychopath. Yeah.
I've seen some. I haven't seen some people, but and that's a lie because I have seen somebody do it too. Women are psychos, man. Women are psychos. They'll get out dripping, and then they'll just throw a towel over them like it's going to protect the rest of the house from dripping everywhere. They won't even dry off their hair or something before stepping out, getting all the drips off of you. They'll just drape a towel like, okay, I got a towel around me. Anything running down, the towel will catch. That's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
You watch any woman hop out of the shower. They do not dry off in the shower. They throw a towel around them and then hop out. I guarantee it.
That's depressing. But
That's depressing.
yo, that makes me so mad. With a puddle, you now have a pond in your bathroom.
It's like when my children, after they shower, I got to tell them specifically, I don't even have to look in the shower in the bathroom. I just tell them as soon as they get out, go clean up the shower.
Yeah. So, what is the order you get dressed after the shower? Dressed.
Probably socks last.
Oh, see, I knew it. Like I'm a socks first person.
Even before your underwear?
Even before that, yep.
You're letting your mouth get that close to your dangle with no cloth underneath? So when you
Bro,
bend down to put
bro,
your sock on, it's actually technically a half attempt to suck your own dick.
I'm 300 plus. You think I'm getting anywhere near? Like, how flexible do you think I am?
People can be weird.
No, I put my socks on just because that's how much I don't like feet, is what I was getting at.
You don't like bare feet running around your house?
I will never be in barefoot ever.
Next time I come over, I'll be barefoot.
That's
I'll
disgusting.
drive there barefoot.
That's that's gross.
No, see, I don't have that much of a crazy. I'll run around bare feet all day. I don't give a fuck.
No.
But for the most part, I don't fuck with feet at all. I'm not touching them. Girl asked for a foot massage. I'd be like, you're out your damn mind. I had one girl tell me she liked having her toe sucked. And I looked at her dead in the face and I was like, you ain't never getting that from me. Ever. I ain't putting no toe in my mouth.
No, that is
I put toe-shaped objects in my mouth before I put an actual toe. Catch my drift. All right, power ranking time. We're going to work our way from the bottom to the top. Let's hurry up and go through these. Chicago Bears, no hope. Texans, no hype. Colts, lucky win. Panthers, Baker's going to bake, but you're not going to like what he makes. Jets, Zach Wilson's back. We don't know if that's even a good thing. Washington, Carson Wentz is a psycho. On this side, Seattle, Geno Smith ain't that dude, but he isn't going to lead you to last. Cowboys, kind of impressive. Cooper Rush is bringing this team together more than Dak could. New York, they have Saquon and still can't do shit with him. Broncos, Russ can't cook. I'm just going to say it like that. We got two people producing food in this league, and you don't like the taste of anything they got to give you. That was the teams of maybe after the rebuild, they'll come up in these rankings. Let's get on to the next set. Steelers. Offense should be leading them in the basement, but their defense is putting them in the middle of the pack. Falcons. Give the ball to Cordurelle Patterson. Patriots. Bill does not have long, and Mac Jones is not the long-term future. San Fran. Purely because you gave up the ball on 2 chances at a game-winning drive. Saints. The defense isn't what it was last year, and good luck, Red Rifle. Jags. Sunshine's looking good. Middle of the defense. Nasty. Cardinals. You didn't score a single touchdown on the game last week. 4 field goals. These are the teams that are missing one key player to put them over the top. All right, guys. This side, we got Raiders. This team would be so good with an ounce of defense. And the Browns got a huge win against a big rival. The Lions always seems to be a shootout for them every single game. Tennessee Titans. I'm wondering how long Ryan Tannehill has left to lead this offense. Raiders, is Lamar Jackson back in his MVP form? Question mark. Chargers. Until Herbert's 100% healthy, they got to prove me otherwise. Bengals, keep slinging it, Burrow. You'll get back to that Super Bowl contending form. Oh, these are the hopefuls. Next up, we got 1 through 7, top of the league. Here, all right, guys. These are the true contenders. The people that if they make it into the playoffs, I may bet a unit on them to win the Super Bowl. Who knows? Depends on the eye test. But starting off, we got Green Bay over here. Aaron Rodgers been digging deep inside of his mind, coming off of an ayahuasca trip, and he is scary looking. Minnesota Vikings, Dalvin Cook's finally getting his legs underneath of him, and his defense is good, just good. And speaking of good defenses, we go to the Bucks, who have a great defense. The only thing not looking great on this team is actually their offense. Offensive side of the ball, where Tom Brady stands. He will come into form, and this team will be even scarier than before. Over here, we got the Rams, and this Rams pass defense is just insane. Absolutely insane. Matt Stafford, Cooper Kupp, what's not to love? Eagles undefeated. Dolphins undefeated. Then we come over here in the Chiefs. The Chiefs offense is just absolutely crazy. Patrick Mahomes is going to do what Patrick Mahomes does. Bills are in the exact same spot the Chiefs are in. Josh Allen do what Josh Allen do. But the Bills actually have a good defense to go along with that high-powered offense, unlike the Chiefs. That's why Bills sit at number 1, Chiefs sit at number 2. There you have it, guys. That's the power ranking for you. Be sure to stick around because me and Corey will be coming up with top 5 players. QB, wide receiver, tight end, running back, and defense.
What's up, everybody? My name is Corey, and I just want to say thank you for showing Sportz Beasts the love on Facebook and YouTube. We now have merch. You can get some hats, some wristbands, some water bottles with the alternate logo, and koozies with the regular logo and alternate logo as well. Make sure you get your merch and you're repping the Beast brand.
Welcome back. And now it's time to go over the top 5. And we're talking top 5 of every position, not on the field, just what we decide. We go to QBs, then running backs. Then we group wide receivers and tight ends into the same category. And then we do defense as a whole overall. So starting off with top 5 QBs. My list, I took into an account the leaders in their, like, if it's a QB, I looked at passing yards and touchdowns. And I went off fantasy as well. So I looked at a bunch of different stats and kind of decided my own. Some is a shakeup, some is straight chalk. So my first one on the board is Josh Allen. He's averaging 29.95 fantasy points per game. And he's the first player to break 1,000 yards in the current NFL season and has 9 touchdowns. Number 2, I got Lamar Jackson averaging 34.75 fantasy points per game. More fantasy points than Josh Allen, but he dropped down to number 2 because this is a quarterback ranking, and almost half of Lamar's yards come in the rush. Not even close. I exaggerated the fuck out of that. But he is doing amazing in the rush. But he has 750 pass yards, 250 rush yards, and 10 total touchdowns. That's why he comes in second, even for having so many pass yards. So few pass yards compared to most. Number 3, I got Jalen Hurts, 28.78 fantasy points per game, 900 pass yards, 167 rush yards, and 7 total touchdowns. And their team is 3-0. That's why I put Jalen Hurts at number 3. Outside of that, he would have dropped probably number 5. His team's 3-0. He's leading the charge. He's at number 3. Number 4, Patrick Mahomes, 23.43 fantasy points per game, 850 pass yards, 8 touchdowns, and he's only been sacked twice the entire time so far. So as much as we hate that offensive line, he's somehow being protected or running away from it. Number 5, Tua Tagovailoa. Valuia, however you say that correctly. 22.37 fantasy points per game, 925 pass yards, 8 touchdowns, and he creeps in my top 5 just because his team is 3-0 as well. He doesn't have any rush yards to add on to it. Almost at 1,000, and his team is 3-0. So that's my top 5.
Yeah, I like those quarterbacks. Nothing really to add. Surprised to see Mahomes, I don't know, up there that high with a weird team that they have. But it is Patty Mahomes.
He was only sacked twice. He's been very protected as an elite quarterback. So
I'm moving on to running backs, top running backs. I'm going to go 5-1.
back it
Sitting
up,
at the
man.
5 spot, and you mentioned it before, he's done really well at the rushing aspect of it. Lamar Jackson is a top 5 running back, which we kind of all expected. 37-26 win at New England, putting up 107 yards in that game. Pretty impressive for a quarterback. At number 4, we got Christian McCaffrey. Not hurt that I've seen yet. So that's a good thing for him. 22-14 win for Carolina versus New England. Or I'm sorry, not New England, New Orleans. 25 carries, 108 yards. Did he have a touchdown in that game? No, he did not. He did go scoreless. His longest run was for 18 yards. So a little McCaffrey like, but I'm sure he's hoping to stay healthy too. At number 3, we have Nick Chubb. And I know a lot of you, you're already shaking your head. A lot of you are already going to say, oh, he's definitely the best back in the league, which he is. But I'm basing it off of last week.
Okay.
Yeah, so Nick Chubb, obviously they got a dub against Pittsburgh, put up 113 yards, which from the way everybody was talking, you would have think he put up almost 200 yards. I expected that number to be a lot higher, but it is Nick Chubb. He is great. He had a touchdown and a 36-yard run as well. At number 2, the dual threat in Cordurelle Patterson from Atlanta went up against Seattle, 141 yards, a touchdown, averaging almost 9 yards a carry. So still doing it in Atlanta somehow with the crazy mess of a team that they have. Number 1, which I found shocking, and this might kind of offend you because I know you drafted the original back, Khalil Herbert for the Chicago Bears, 23-20 win against Houston, put up 157 yards, 2 scores. A lot of people going to be picking him up in small leagues like ours.
Yeah. In mine, my list differentiates a lot from yours. Because you obviously went by week. I didn't have Khalil in the top 5, obviously, because he didn't even start. He filled in for David Montgomery. So my list is very different. I got number 1, Saquon, 408 multi-purpose yards. You can't beat that in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Chubb would be at my number 2 just because he doesn't get a whole lot of multi-purpose yards. I mean, he does. He has 364, but he doesn't receive the ball as well as Saquon does. 3, DeAndre Swift, 308 all yards. Then at number 4, I got James Robinson, 266 multi-purpose yards. Then I have the Swiss Army knife, Cordell Patterson, with 330 multi-purpose yards. James Robinson's just up there on number 4 because he has 4 touchdowns. So, but my list isn't too crazy.
It's kind of good to hear James Robinson's name back in a list like this too.
Yeah, I know. Same. Like the Jags are surprising us, even though we knew what they had.
Yeah. We just didn't think all the weapons were going to work well together.
That's very true. Very true. The main cog in any team is a quarterback, and we had big questions on that. But let's get into top 5 wide receivers now. I'm going to stick with going number 1 through 5, okay? I felt like you pressured me there a little bit, like you were trying to one-up me by going backwards instead. Like, oh, I'm going to be more climactic than you. But I'm going to stick with going number 1.
How dare you?
Right? How dare he? And how dare Stephon Diggs yet again be the number 1 wide receiver? Like, it's every damn year. Every damn year. Why does anyone think any different? Stephon Diggs averaging 28.5 fantasy points per game, 344 receptions. And this is where I'm going to get a little number happy because I'm going to shout out completions. I mean, attempts and targets, if that makes sense. Like actual catches, So it'd be targets and receptions, not attempts and receptions. But so Stephon Diggs, 344 receiving yards, 27 catches, 27 catches, 35 targets, and 4 touchdowns. Targets are a big thing for me because that just lets me know how much hope this team has on you to bury that much, give up that much percentage of the team's offense to that, relying on that one player. So that's a big thing for me. And he tops the league. But also tied with that is Cooper Kupp at number 2, averaging 26.7 fantasy points per game, 300 multi-purpose yards because he does have a handful of rush yards, 38 catches, 28 catches, 35 receptions. Why am I getting that? Fucking my dyslexic brain is kicking in. I didn't know I ever had. And he had 3 touchdowns. Now, this one's going to surprise a lot of people, but I'm really high on him, is Amon-Ra St. Brown. I talk about him a lot in this video alone. I'm going to talk about him for the first time right in here. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 24.4 fantasy points per game, 321 multi-purpose yards, 23 catches for 33 targets. He's not hauling all of them in, but it's going to be a huge confidence booster when he does. 4 touchdowns. And then at number 4, we got Jalen Waddle. 24.3 fantasy points per game, 359 multi-purpose yards, 19 catches for 30 targets, 3 touchdowns. I know it's not crazy, but I had to throw the duo up here because the duo is driving the league crazy right now. I'm talking Jalen Waddle and his number 5 partner, Tyreek Hill. 21.8 fantasy points per game, 317 reception yards, 21 catches, 29 targets, and 2 touchdowns. You combine those together, it's the best duo in the league right now, so I just had to do them justice. I had to throw them up there at 4 and 5.
I like it. I have 2 of your top 5 on my fantasy team. It's great.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Top 5 defenses. This is going to shock Cody because I never told him.
Before we go on, I didn't have any tight ends. Did you have any tight ends in your top 5?
No, I did not.
Okay, I know I said we lumped them, but there just happened to be none that were good enough. But
yeah, right. None that our lists are a little different because we're doing them a little differently. You're doing all top 5.
Yeah,
I'm doing weekly top 5 pretty much. But I mean, I guess you probably could throw Mark Andrews because he had like 2 or 3 touchdowns and a bunch of yards in his last game. But again, I still don't think it's worthy enough to break that top 5.
No, not yet.
But anyways, defenses, like I said, this is going to confuse Cody a little bit. Never told him. I'm only talking 2. 2 of them really stood out last week.
Okay.
And I'm talking about Philly's defense, who gave up 8 points against Washington, and Brandon Graham in specific. 6 total tackles, 2.5 sacks during that game, and a forced fumble. This defense is kind of shocking this year. We knew they were pretty good last year, but they seem to just be clicking as a whole unit, and it's good to see them working well together. The second one at number 2, you mentioned in your top 5 from the team, is Miami. And when you look at them, you're like, oh, okay, well, they're pretty good. Why are they so high up to be only top 2? The best scoring offense in the league, the Buffalo Bills. They held them to 19 points. I mean, that's got to matter for something.
For that week, it does. That's for sure.
For that week, they went up against a team that put up 31 in week 1 and 40. What was it, 41 or 42 in week 2?
Yeah.
To accomplish that feat, absolutely outstanding. And on top of it, it's a divisional game, and you jump to number 1, or you secure number 1, I should say. in that win, I mean, that
Huge clutch play. I know that game, it just
impressive.
like the Bills couldn't get anything going, but I mean,
Hey, that's football. You can't get it going. That's your fault.
just like rent, dude. Props are due. Okay.
But what's his name? Jerome Baker in Miami, linebacker, 13 tackles, half a sack. So alone, he did really comparatively nothing, which kind of sounds like a dick thing to say, but
Yeah.
comparatively, he did nothing to kind of stand out. But I'm looking at him as a whole unit. I mean, that's how football is. It's the true team sport. So those are the only two that I really felt got to get them in this week.
Yeah, I say both really good defenses. Miami, I wouldn't say really good, I guess, because they Ravens did put up 38 on them.
That's fine.
But I mean, they're not on my top 5, but still a good defense for sure. So, and I have them listed my top half of defenses. I can't remember where exactly I have them ranked. But
Well,
like,
and again, your list and my list are two different lists.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you stop the best scoring offense, it matters for that week for damn sure. And then confidence rolls.
Yeah.
All right. But at 1, I actually had Tampa Bay allowing 289 yards, only 9 points a game. They're allowing 9 fucking points a game. When you play them, it's like a coin flip if you're even going to score a touchdown against them. Number 2, I have Jacksonville. Really surprising to see them up here, but they've only allowed 306 yards and only 12.7 points per game, which is crazy to think about as well. Buffalo was up there. Obviously, Buffalo's out there. They have an insanely good rush defense, but I think last game, the big reason why they lost to Miami was because they didn't have their secondary. They were banged up pretty bad in that game. 214 yards allowed. I think it's one of the lowest in the league. I think that is the lowest, 214 yards allowed. And they're tying Jacksonville with 12.7 points per game. So Buffalo, also a crazy good defense. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia is at my number 4. You already mentioned them. Pittsburgh cracks a number 5 for me. They had to. I mean, they're almost allowing 400 yards a game, but they're holding them to 22 points per game with 6 takeaways. So,
yeah, I think they're most definitely a top 5 with Watt. I think if you're ranking the entire league like you are, I think they could drop out.
Oh, they'll still stay top 10, but yeah, without Watt, you're definitely going to drop a couple rankings just because of him alone.
And the fact that one player makes that big of a difference, obviously on it, props to TJ Watt for being that guy. But for one player to make that big of a difference on your defense,
it's just the domino effect of defense. That's what I love about a good defensive line. That's what every time my Bryson always asks me why I do this too. I look at how many, as soon as the ball is hiked, I look at how many they're rushing. How many is rushing? How many dropping back to block? That's the first thing I look at. Well, one, because soon after the ball's hiked for 1 second, NFL doesn't give you a chance to look at any receivers run their routes. They just don't. It's a fucking stupid way to watch football for some reason. I personally like the all 22, where you show the whole damn field. Then you zoom in on them before the ball's hiked and shit, and then hurry up and zoom back out. And then if there's a instant replay, you zoom back in. I hate that you can't see the wide receivers develop into their routes and stuff, or how the coverage is going until after you see a fucking replay.
Yeah.
But anyways, if they can, normally you're going to be outmanned unless you're sending a blitz. You know, it's going to be 5 blockers, 4 rushers, 4 blockers. 3 rushers, 4 blockers. You never drop really down below 4 blockers at any given time unless it's a screen, and then you're supposed to bail out. But I always look at that because then you know what teams are amazing and can get after the quarterback is if their defensive line is outnumbered and they're still getting after the quarterback. I always watch that because then you plug one other good guy in there and then the whole fucking line blows up. Like Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett's amazing by himself. You put Jadeveon Clowney in there, one of them have to blow up because the focus has to be on one of those guys. Same way with TJ Watt. I don't think it's just TJ Watt that good of a talent. It's the fact that he's such a good talent. You got to focus on him, and now the other people are getting through. But TJ Watt is such a good talent. He's getting through while his other dudes are getting through. Yeah. That's what was scary about this Steelers defense on week 1. That's what was scary as fuck. And that's what I hated. And as soon as I seen that, I thought Steelers were going to do a hell of a lot better, but they're banged up. So we'll wait to see if that continues.
Yeah, it kind of is what it is. But those were our top 5/2, whatever you want to say. Pretty much producers for the week and the year. Make sure you stick around because we are going to be recapping last week, and rapid fire pick'ems as well. You'll want to see it. What's up, everybody? My name is Corey, and I just want to say thank you for showing Sportz Beasts the love on Facebook and YouTube. We now have merch. You can get some hats, some wristbands, some water bottles with the alternate logo, and koozies with the regular logo and alternate logo as well. Make sure you get your merch and you're repping the Beast brand itself.
Rapid fire recaps. Let's go, baby. Steelers at Browns. Browns score first, but Pickens makes the biggest catch of the day with an Odell-like catch that'll be talked about for the rest of the year. Deadlocked at half, besides a doinked point after, making it 2 games in a row for Cade York, having missed one of those. Browns fans had a little PTSD while up 6 under 2 minutes to play, and the Steelers attempted an onside kick. The ball bounces off Donovan Peoples-Jones' chest, I should say, but luckily it goes out of bounds, and then a final fumble touchdown recovery from the Browns D to fuck over the degenerate gamblers at home. Browns win 29-17. Houston at Chicago. Equanimous St. Brown, still probably the best name on the worst team. While Khalil Herbert might have earned himself a timeshare with the game he had after David Montgomery left, while the Bears still clearly don't like Justin Fields throwing the ball. Tie game 20-20 in the 4th. But a costly interception thrown by Davis Mills with 1 minute left leads to a game-winning field goal from Chicago, and Houston still winless, 20-23. Eagles at Commanders. Eagles sacked Wentz 4 times in the first quarter, but no score from either. In the second quarter, however, the Eagles outscored Commanders 24-0, and Devonta Smith proves he still hurts his number 1 wide receiver. And finally getting on the board in the 4th quarter by way of safety only down 22. That's it. After the safety, they're only down 22. The rest of the way, they only get 6 with a touchdown coming under 2 minutes. Too little, too late. Eagles stay undefeated, 24-8. Lions at Vikings. Both teams missed field goals to open it up. And is Amon-Ra St. Brown a lightweight god? Tied 14 at half, but it quickly changed when Lions jumped to a 10-point lead going into 4th after a Vikings touchdown. We come to under 2 minutes. 2 minutes left. Lions missed the field goal. Then Kirk rallied the troops and didn't settle for overtime with a Kirk touchdown with 45 seconds remaining to win the game, 28-24 Vikings. Rams at Cardinals. Cooper Kupp gets the party going with a rushing touchdown as Kyler Murray was feeling the pressure and had to rely on the kicker twice for any points at all. But this whole game was focused on defense, baby. as the Rams' defensive secondary wasn't allowing much, and the D as a whole never allowed a touchdown, and the Cardinals will be 4 for 4 on field goals to lose 20-12. Atlanta at Seattle. Geno looks to come into this game and punch the critics in the mouth, while Kyle Pitts looks to finally show up, and that's just what he did. But a counterpunch from Geno with 2 passing touchdowns in the first half. It was nothing but leg for them the rest of the way, but not for Patterson and Mariota, as Mariota gets a rushing touchdown and Geno throws an interception to seal the deal, leading to the first dub of the season. Atlanta wins. Packers at Tampa Bay. First touchdown from Romero Doubs, and it's the first time I'm hearing his names. But is it Aaron Rodgers' new favorite wide receiver? Question mark. But Allen Lazard is still there, so remember that. Another touchdown Packers. They go up 14-3 at half. The Bucs defense steps up big, and big enough to give Tom Brady a chance to win the game with under 2 minutes. Tom Brady shreds the defense with short passes, and they pay off the refs for a defensive pass interference, and they score a goal line touchdown to Russell Gage as he gets lit up but holds on to the ball. They need 2 points for overtime, but no good as a deflection destroys Tom's perfect season. Green Bay wins 14-12. '49ers at Broncos. Jimmy G gets to start again but couldn't get it in the end zone on his opening drive as the San Francisco shuts out the Broncos in the first quarter. Boring game. But it was McManus's leg keeping the Broncos from going scoreless in the second half. Still a boring game, 7-3, San Francisco up. As Jimmy G reenacts Dan Orlovsky's safety and brings the Broncos to 5, San Francisco opens up the fourth with a field goal of their own. But again, it's not enough for Showtime Russ and the Broncos. It's time for him to cook. Touchdown Denver. 2-point conversion was no good, but it doesn't matter because at the end of the game, San Francisco throws an interception on one drive and literally fumbles the game away on the second to blow any chance at a comeback. Broncos win 11-10.
Rapid fire, 1 minute recaps. That's what we're doing. Let's go. Ravens and Patriots. Lamar Jackson was a choo-choo train in the Ravens 37-26 victory over the New England Patriots. He finishes his night with 4 passing touchdowns, 107 rushing, and 1 rushing touchdown. He was, as to be expected, a top 5 running back in week 3. Mark Andrews, who caught 8 passes, 2 that went for touchdowns, racked up almost 90 yards. Even old man Parker from New England was getting in on the action, finishing his night with 5 catches, 156 yards. Thanks for the 47 points in fantasy, Lamar. Jacksonville versus Chargers, 38-10. Can you tell me which team won? Of course you can. It happened 3, 4, 5 days ago. Jaguars put on another impressive performance. 413 total yards of offense. They finally get a win on the road after losing 18 away games in a row. Trevor Lawrence, remember I said we were going to be following him throughout the season. 28 of 39, 262 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, no sacks. Get this man even a little bit of help in the offseason, and he will succeed. Moving on to the Buffalo Bills divisional matchup against the Dolphins. You got to hand it to the Miami defense for not letting this crazy good Bills offense put up more than 30 points on them. Don't think that's impressive? Rams and Titans couldn't do it. Buffalo dominated in everything. More total offense by double, time of possession by double plus some, first downs by double, and only 1 turnover. Somehow Miami comes out on top 21-19. KC versus the Colts. My pick'ems were good, but not for this game. Matt Ryan was good with 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. Looking from KC's point of view, their leading rusher was Patty Mahomes with 26 yards. Juju was the leading receiver, had less than 90. No wonder Mahomes was going off on the sideline. KC could not get it done. Colts for the win. Titans and Raiders. The 0-2 matchup. Tennessee said it's time to tighten up, and they did. Stepped on the gas and never stalled. Tannehill, 264 yards and a touchdown. Andy had one interception, but those will happen. Those will happen when you're a little bit mediocre. King Henry only 85 yards and a score. A little bit of a slow start for him after coming back from injury. Anyways, Titans win 24-22 to get their first win of the season. Bengals and Jets. Bengals didn't let a projection go to their head. Burrow came in, played it cool, and did what they were supposed to do. Win. 27-12. I mean, come on. Did you really expect the Jets to get an upset 2 weeks in a row? Panthers and Saints. This Panthers defense helped seal the game by picking off Jameis Winston late in the fourth quarter twice. The Saints didn't put up a single point until the fourth quarter. Baker gets his first win as a Panther, 170 yards and a touchdown. CMC goes scoreless with 108 yards, and Chenault 2 catches for 90 yards. Plus he scored. 22-14 Panthers. Giants and Cowboys. Cooper Rush is 2-0 this season. Probably would be 3-0, but Dak got in the way of game 1. And surprise, surprise, Zeke wasn't the leading back. Pollard had 105 yards on 13 carries. CeeDee Lamb, his usual self. Saquon finally having a good start to his seasons again. At least he's healthy for now. It's Sterling Shepard who led the Giants in receiving with 50 yards that tore his ACL, MCL, IDC. He will be out the rest of the season. Cowboys over the Giants, 23-16.
We covered the past. Now it's time to cover the future. Rapid fire pick'ems. Miami Dolphins at Cincinnati Bengals. I'm taking Miami Dolphins in the spread, which is 3.5, but I'm taking Cincinnati Bengals in the pick'em. So Cincinnati Bengals money line. But Miami Dolphins against the spread, it's 3.5 right now. That's a sneaky one. They want you. They're not going to go below 3. But Joe Burrow, look for him and the boys to get back on track. Miami Dolphins, they just beat Buffalo. They're going to be riding high on the hog, and I think it makes them a little lackluster on the draw. And being at home has the slight nod for me for Cincinnati Bengals. Next, Cleveland Browns at Atlanta. Cleveland is favored by 1 in this game, and I'm taking that. You can't take a spread that's only 1. I mean, I think Browns are going to win by more than 1. They're not going to doink an extra point again to make it a lopsided score like that, like it has been lately. So it's not going to happen again. Jacoby Brissett's been doing exactly what we asked him to do. Go in there and don't turn the ball over. That's exactly what he's doing. Atlanta isn't the defense that's going to come out and force turnovers. That's the one we're scared about. That's not one of them. Hopefully we can stop Cordurelle Patterson on the Falcons. Me personally, I have him in fantasy, so I kind of want Cordurelle Patterson to blow up, but let's not let Atlanta win the game, okay? Yeah, Atlanta by 1. Mariota isn't that good. Kyle Pitts is just now making an emergence. Drake London, their rookie, is the new number 1. Crazy good. Cleveland Browns by 1. Next up, we got Denver Broncos at the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm taking the Raiders on this one. They're 0-3 right now. It's a sad day to be a Las Vegas fan, which there's probably nobody out there anyways. Raiders fan, yes. Las Vegas fan, no. You don't go there for football. Maybe gambling in general, yes. But Las Vegas is actually favored by 2.5. I'm taking them to cover that 2.5 spread. Denver has been close every game. It's got to stop now. I know their defense is good, but I still don't believe that Russ can cook a decent meal. He delivered a touchdown last week, but, I mean, you got to thank your running backs on that as well. That drive, they were huge. So I'm taking Las Vegas. Derek Carr, Devontae Adams. You got to have a big hookup night, and it's got to be against this team. Their defensive front's going to be crazy good for Broncos, so Josh Jacobs isn't going to do much. Next up, we have the New England Patriots at Green Bay Packers. Packers are actually favored by 9.5 points. I never bet a spread when it's creeping up on double digits. Never. So this one, I'm only playing money line, which I'm not even playing that. Just for pick'ems, I'm picking Green Bay. If I were to bet on this game, it'd give me a negative 430 to bet money line. No, thank you. Nobody wants a part of this bet at all. I do think the over at 40.5 is going to hit, just because Patriots are going to get down big, and then they're Mac Jones and him and Bill Belichick and Ramondre Stevenson are going to do everything they can and use their legs to give them a fighting chance, but it's not going to be enough. I'm taking Packers, staying away from the spread. Next up, we got Kansas City and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This one is actually split straight down the middle. It's just a pick-em, it's always rough when it comes to this. I got to select Tampa Bay just because I give them the defensive nod. If it's a great defense going against a great offense, and the offense has no defense, but the defense still has some offense, I'm going with a great defense. But it's definitely going to be a low-scoring game. So what's the under at? I just moved off of them. It's at 45.5. Yeah, I'm betting the under on that one. But moving on, Tampa Bay. I'm taking Tampa Bay for that if it wasn't clear. Moving on, next up we have Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles are actually favored by 6.5, so I would take Jacksonville on the spread, but I still have Philly winning. Philly wins the game. Jacksonville covers the spread by 6.5. Philly's had close games every single game but the last one. It's kind of a blowout. They couldn't do much. So I'm taking Jacksonville. Jacksonville's actually a decent team. So Philly, Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, he's proving that when he's in the game, he's going to be the number one. A.J. Brown, scoot aside. He does that little boop, boop, scoot aside. Just taking Philly. Jacksonville's good, but Philly's overpowered right now. Next up, Seattle Seahawks at Detroit Lions. I love Detroit Lions for this game. They're favored by 4, and I am taking that spread at 4. Detroit Lions are just too good. Amon Ra, St. Brown, a dog. Jared Goff, when he has a number 1 certified dog, he can produce with him, and he even showed being on the Rams. So Sean McVay didn't like him because he isn't the best quarterback, but when you have a certified number 1, they still get theirs. And Amon-Ra St. Brown is still going to get his. DeAndre Swift's a dog, especially in the PPR game. You just drool over this guy. While on the Seattle Seahawks side, there's not much to even frown over. You can't even be sad about this team because they're doing better than expectations, which is not what you want them to do because you guys kind of need to tank for a pick. You guys are kind of rebuilding. You guys are missing that one quarterback you may need to draft really early. So you can't smile about it either because there's no hopes that you're even going to squeak into the playoffs or be a true contender. So there's not even anything to smile or frown about. It sucks being a Seattle Seahawks fan. I wouldn't know. I mean, I'm a Browns fan, so I know rough fan days. But right now, Seattle Seahawks are in a weird position to where the Browns were as well, where we would suck all year, and then as soon as we were out of playoff contention, we'd start winning games. This is probably 2008, 2012, or around there somewhere. Very rough estimate. But moving on, I'm taking Detroit Lions, covering the spread by 4. Moving on, we got Los Angeles Chargers at Houston Texans. I'm taking the Chargers. I took them last time and got disappointed, so let's not disappoint. Herbert, if you're injured, sit out. Let us know so we don't bet on you. Come on, you're ruining my wallet. Not really. It's the rest of my picks. You are only one game. But it still sucks. You don't know what Herbert's going to give you while he's injured like this. The Chargers did not play like the Chargers you've seen the first 2 games. Even on a loss to Kansas City, they looked good, like a true contender. Last game, they did not. Where Houston Texans, they kind of stay with their opponent. They stay with their opponent. This is really the first time Houston has faced a high powered offense, so we'll see if they can even keep up. I don't think they will. Chargers are favored by 5. I'm taking that spread, and I'm taking the Chargers for the 3rd, 4th, 5th time maybe. That's all of them. That's all. That's all you get, boy. Ain't no more, ain't no less.
And this is the second half of the rapid fire week 4 matchups. I'm going to start mine off in London with the Vikings and Saints. I don't think Dalvin Cook's playing, but you still got Kirk Cousins to Justin Jefferson. I'm going to take the Vikings on that one. Next up, we got the Jets and Steelers. Steelers are projected to win, but that doesn't really matter to me. Cleveland was projected to win a couple weeks ago, but I am going to take the Steelers on this one. Bears and Giants, kind of a lackluster matchup for me. I'm taking Saquon and the Giants. Titans and Colts. Can the Titans get a second win? Hopefully for them, yes, but I got to go with the Titans and Derrick Henry on this one. Commanders and Cowboys. I got to say, I'm liking the way Cooper Rush is handling this offense. Go with the Cowboys on that one. Bills and Ravens. I have Lamar Jackson on my fantasy team, but I can't shy away from taking the Bills. They're going to bounce back from that big loss against Miami. Cardinals and Panthers. Panthers are not going to get a back-to-back win. Taking the Panthers on that one. Last one, I got Rams and 49ers. I like the Rams defense a little more than I like Jimmy G and the 49ers offense. I'm taking the 49ers on this one. Hopefully my picks do well. That was the second half of the rapid fire week 4 matchups.
That's going to be it for you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe. Shout out Sportz Beasts.